Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Kurt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Today, we're diving into a fascinating concept from an article by Ethan Mollick published on November 12, 2025, How to Actually Give Your AI a Job Interview. In a world where we rely on AI more and more, picking the right one is becoming just as critical as hiring the right person.
Really think about it. When you bring an AI into your workflow, you're essentially hiring it to advise you, to create things for you, maybe even to make decisions. You would never just hire the first person who walked through the door, right? So why would we do that with an AI? We've got to find a better way to choose.
Okay, so to understand how to hire an AI, we first need to take a hard look at the current hiring process and why, for most of us, it's pretty much fundamentally flawed.
Right now, the entire industry really leans on something called benchmarks. These are basically standardized tests, like the SATs for AI, that are supposed to tell us how smart a particular model is. You see AIs bragging about their high scores all the time.
But here's the thing, there are some huge problems with this approach. First off, sometimes the AIs have basically seen the test answers before, so they're kind of cheating. But even more important, the tests themselves might not measure skills you actually care about for your work. On top of that, the scoring can be weird and uncalibrated, and a lot of these tests are just riddled with errors.
For instance, a popular benchmark asks this exact question. Now, does getting this right tell you if an AI can help you draft a killer marketing email or analyze a financial report? Probably not. It's just trivia, not a real measure of useful intelligence for the job you need done.
And that's really the crucial point here. While benchmarks show that AIs are getting smarter overall, they are absolutely terrible at helping you, whether you're an individual or a company, pick the right tool for a specific task. For that, you need to conduct your own interview.
So how do you do that? How do you conduct that interview? Well, the first method is a really personal approach we can call the vibe check. This is perfect for individual users who just want to get a feel for how different AIs really operate.
It's actually incredibly simple. First, you come up with a creative and really specific prompt, something unique. Second, you give that exact same prompt to a few different AI models. And third, you just compare the results. You're not looking for a correct answer, you're looking for the style and the vibe that just works best for you.
And what's so interesting here is how this immediately shows you the distinct personalities of these different AI models. When given a creative prompt about a person with only a few words left to live, each AI responded completely differently. Claude was coherent, emotional, a strong writer. GPT-5 was a total wildcard, a stylist. Kimi had some interesting phrases but kind of lost the plot, and Gemini couldn't even keep the word count straight. This one vibe check instantly reveals which AI might be a better creative partner for your specific taste.
But look, a vibe check isn't quite enough when you're a company trying to deploy AI at a large scale. If you're hiring an AI to advise hundreds of your employees, you need a much more rigorous interview process, something like a real-world job trial.
A great model for this actually comes from a research paper. The process has three main steps. First, you have your own human experts create realistic, complex tasks from your industry. Second, you have different AIs and other human experts complete those tasks. And finally, you have a third group of experts blindly grade all the submissions, without knowing which one came from a human and which one came from an AI.
And this is what that kind of test shows you. It reveals what's called the Jagged Frontier of AI ability. See, AI isn't uniformly good at everything. As you can see, top models are now outperforming humans in areas like software development, but they still lag way behind in fields like pharmacy and real estate. This kind of trial tells you exactly what an AI is good at, not just what it scores on some generic test.
But there's one more layer to this interview. It's not just about skill, it's also about, character. You need to assess the AI's underlying judgment, its tolerance for risk, and its default way of looking at the world.
To test this, Mollick created this quirky but totally brilliant hypothetical business, Guacadrone, a service that delivers fresh guacamole by drone. He then asked different AIs to rate how viable they thought the idea was. This isn't about getting the right answer, it's about revealing the AI's thinking style.
The results were fascinating. The models were all over the place. Grok and Copilot absolutely loved the idea, rating it a 7 or 8 out of 10. They are clearly more risk-seeking. But on the other hand, GPT-5 and Claude were far more skeptical, rating it a 3 or 4. They're more conservative.
Now, why does this matter? Because a small, consistent difference in judgment,
Rating ideas just a few points higher or lower every single time, that really adds up. When an AI makes thousands of recommendations, its built-in tendency towards risk or caution will consistently steer your entire organization in that direction. And you need to know which direction that is.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. It's really time to stop picking AIs based on generic test scores and start hiring them for the specific job you need done.
This quote from the article says it all, doesn't it? You would never ever hire a senior executive just because they did well on a standardized test from college. You'd interview them, you'd test their skills on real-world problems, and you'd assess their judgment. We need to start treating our AIs with that exact same seriousness.
The takeaway here is crystal clear. You have to design your own interview. Whether it's a personal vibe check or a rigorous corporate trial, test your AI on the tasks that actually matter to you. That is the only way you'll ever know if you're hiring the best candidate for the job.
Thanks so much for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. We'd love it if you'd subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. And please, like, comment, and share to help us reach an even wider audience.